What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I want to talk about the two most influential people when it came to prison. And let me preface it with this. There are two men that were legends, that were extremely influential in my life, in that world, showed me major love. This video is not going to be about them because I could never say their names. And our interactions were our interactions. So this video is about two camaradas, right? And just so you know, that word camarada is not and should not ever be used frivolously, because it's not behind those walls. When you use that word, you're saying something, right? Co-signing for somebody. And that's as far as I'm gonna go. But I want to talk about these two guys. We're cellies of course, at different times. I've actually mentioned these guys both a lot. I just never mention them by name. One, I call him Pacas. The other, I've never said anything. But there are people that I've spoken to that are from the same neighborhood. That matter of fact, I think I have mentioned his neighborhood. He's one of the original founders of El Monte Flores. One of the original 12 dudes. So Pacas, when we were cellies, was in his 40s. And we'll call him Flores. Flores was in his 50s when we were cellies. Different eras. A lot of knowledge. Pacas, he was very intelligent. Both of these men were well proven physically behind the walls. Out of the two, Flores he started doing time in the 70s. And so he was involved in a lot of very serious stuff. Everybody knew about that. But let's begin with Pacas because I was cellies with him first. Pacas had been in the Corcoran War. When they were doing the gladiator days and they were releasing people, whoever was known as the best fighters out of the Southerners and the Northerners, you know, the blacks, the whites, the cops used to set those guys against each other. They'd move them to other buildings to fight other dudes. They'd be betting. Pacas was, he had trained at the Jet Center, which was a kickboxing place in the San Fernando Valley, right? And he was known to have hands and feet. And New Folsom had the boxing program. He got into the boxing too. But I did a video on him in regards to the Corcoran shoe days. And I believe it's called, he said prison was no fun anymore or something. I don't remember the actual title. If I can find it, I'll put it in here. You'll see it up here somewhere. I was a knucklehead when we were cellies. I was still new to the system. All I had known before that was the California Youth Authority, which is off the hook, right? I was thirsty for knowledge because I really believed I was never going home. Prison was going to be my life. I had a life sentence. I was young. And so I wanted to know, I wanted to learn from those who were established. And you tend to gravitate towards like-mindedness, right? And I remember him telling me the story. Again, I'll post the video if I can find it, if I remember during editing. But I used to like to have weapon stock. I used to like to have knives. I was already getting involved in the politics. Him and another dude were the two main dudes on the yard. All the decision making went through those two dudes. And in part of my schooling, he would run me down. Okay, look, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. What do you think? And he was gauging my ability to make right calls. And, but I remember one day we're sitting down and we're watching TV. And he told me, he said, man, you think prison's fun still? He said, I remember them days. He said, but one day you're going to realize prison ain't fun, homie. He said, let me tell you something. You got a life sentence to do. He said, you ain't going nowhere. He said, you're going to go to the shoe. You're going to go to the shoe until they slam you down. He said, every time you go to the shoe, when you get out, the game just got a little bit more watered down for you, and you'll see it. He told me about getting set up in Corcoran Shoe, him and his celly, both of them very good fighters. And the cops set him up against two Northerners that were known to be very good fighters. They were betting on these guys. These guys locked horns on the yard. They're going at it. Boom, 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 boom. The Mini 14. The Mini 14 fires. Baya! When you're in that yard, when you're in close proximity to that gun, it's very loud. He's fighting, and he's locked onto who he's fighting against, right? And he said, after the gunshot, the two Northerners both jumped back. And he's like, what's up? And they told him, hey, get your celly. And they backed up and they got down. And he looked, and the cop had shot his celly in the head. He was dead. And he said, hey, Holmes, them dudes could have got me, eh? I was by myself. He said they showed that respect. He goes, they got us off the yard. And in Corcoran Shoe, when you come out of this, there's 2 yards. There's 2 concrete yards. When you come out of the yards and you get into the rotunda, there's little tanks with bars, right? That they'll put people in for whatever reason, right? And he said they brought them out. They put them in the cages, the little holding tanks, right? And they took their time going out there to get his celly. Mostly all of the joints, I think all of them, have these orange canoe-looking things. They're gurneys. They come running with them. They pick up the body. They lay the body in there. They pick it up, and they run out with them, right? Corcoran Shoe, they had like a carpet with handles on it. That was their gurney. And he told me while they were sitting there, he's sitting in his tank. The 2 Northerners are sitting in their tank. Nobody's talking. The cops were in the office laughing, clowning, having a good old time. Then they go out with the gurney. They brought his celly back in and just dumped his body right there. Rolled him up in the blanket gurney and just left him there. And he said prison was fun to him until that day. And he said, someday, it's going to hit you, Holmes. Prison ain't fucking fun, eh? He's right. At some point, it hits everybody. Everybody. But what can you do? You got to do that time. But I remember when I first came in, when somebody was going to get whacked, it excited me. The person I was back then, the animal that I was back then, not only did it excite me, but I would make sure that I would be in position to where I could watch it go down. After a while, years and years later, I wasn't excited about it. It was one of those, everybody's got a job to do. Do yours so I don't got to do mine. Mother Sally, the other most influential one, Flores. This dude was older than Pacas, but he still hadn't. If he had, he never said it. Didn't seem like it. He hadn't reached that point. He hadn't gotten to that point where prison wasn't fun anymore. Then again, he was from a different era. Those guys were different. Again, he was in his 50s. We'd go out to yard. Everybody would buzz down, do their rutina, do their exercise. After that, everything would break up and guys would play handball or just, chill in the corner talking, whatever. Flores would do the workout, the rutina with everybody. And then he would go in the corner and work out for the remainder of the yard. He wasn't in the small talk. He wasn't in the handball. He was a monster. He was always prepared for war, prepared for battle. And that's what his mindset was. So I had the yin and the yang. Two dudes who had experienced a lot, done a lot, seen a lot. And they both planted seeds. And both seeds blossomed. Did I see eye to eye with both on everything? Of course not. Men don't. Based off our life experiences, age, ego, whatever, you're not going to always see eye to eye. But I tell you something. If it had to be me and I could pick two dudes and we go to war with the world, Pacas and Flores, those are the ones. Pacas got out. I don't think Pacas ever came back. I would doubt that he would ever come back. Flores, I believe, is still incarcerated. He's probably in his late 70s now. And I guarantee he still hasn't come across that day where prison ain't fun anymore. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.